Okay, everybody, we're getting ready to do lesson 8.7 of Algebra 1 Math 8.7, which is factoring special products, part 1. Part 2, part 3 are available at this email. 8.7, factor special products. We got a 32-point skill sheet here for classwork. And then we have a 2-point notebook guide. And then teachers, here is your bell work for today. We have a word problem here. Explain how you can use solutions of an equation to find the answer here. Students, will give you 5 minutes to solve this. Okay, welcome back. Here is your solution for your bell work. Here is our motion formula here for finding velocity of a pathway of, say, an object. So t equals -1/16, or t equals 2. When we factor this parabola out, this is what we get. -16t plus 1 and t minus 2. So it can't be a negative, can it? So a negative solution does not make sense in this situation. So you catch the ball after 2 seconds. So the time would be 2 seconds after the ball is released using a motion formula here. Okay, factoring special products. You factored polynomials like this. You will factor special products now. You can use special product patterns. You've learned to factor polynomials. The difference of two squares is a factoring pattern. So the difference of two squares pattern, algebra, difference of a square. We have this pattern. And then here is an example here, 2x plus 3, 2x minus 3, for 4x squared. Factor the difference of two squares, factor the polynomial. We have a difference here of two squares. So write as a squared minus b squared, and then we just plug in our values here. Difference of two squares pattern for this one here. Then b, again, we have two perfect squares. We just write as a squared minus b squared. We plug in, and there is our factoring there for that one. Same thing here, perfect squares. And then we just plug in x plus 7y, x minus 7y for factoring c. Okay, for our first guide, factor the polynomial. So we have a 2y squared. We have two perfect squares here. We have a difference of two squares. So our a and our b, this is our a and this is our b. And we use a difference here of two squares. And then we get a plus b, a minus b. This is the pattern here that we're following. We're taking the square root of a and then the square root of b, which is 2y and then 8. And then we plug it into this pattern here. Okay, part 2, example 2 here. We have this polynomial here, 8 minus 18n squared. So we factor out a common factor here to get into our difference of two squares again. So once we factor out a 2, we have a difference of two squares. We take the square root of both. So we have our a and b now, and then we just plug that into the difference of two square pattern. Okay, our next guide to practice. Students, pay attention so you can do yours. We're going to do this one. We have 81c squared minus 4. So we take the square root of both of these, 9c and then 2. Here's our a, here's our b. And then we plug it into our pattern, 9c plus 2, 9c minus 2. And that's the factoring of that. And that is part 1 of 8.7. Part 2 and 3 are available here, as well as all the other materials. Thank you.